Hi, my name is Camille and I work for an organization called Metro, and today we're going to talk about peer support and maybe just to explore the importance of peer support and the benefits you can receive from engaging in peer support, because most of you at some point would have been asked or encouraged to come and take part in peer support. So I just wanted to just talk about that today. So what is peer support? Peer support is a shared experience within a group setting. It may be social, emotional, or practical. This support tends to be mutually offered and reciprocated with group members with support from a host or facilitator. This approach allows peers to benefit from each other, experience and knowledge. So basically what that's saying is it's a shared experience. So if you're HIV positive, you could assume that everyone attending the peer support will be HIV positive, and you might have that shared experience of talking about being diagnosed, how do you cope, and things like that. Some of the benefits of peer support. The benefits of peer support are wide-ranging for participants. One of the key reported benefits are the freedom to share experience in a safe, confidential space, free from worries of being judged. There is a greater perceived sense of empathy and trust among participants. So people who attend peer support feel a bit more like everybody's going to understand where I'm coming from, and there's a kind of shared knowledge. So sometimes you could say, you can talk about CD4 count, viral load, and you can assume that most people in the group will know what you're talking about. Or you can talk about stigma and people would have that shared experience or disclosure and things like that. Research has shown that peer support can increase self-esteem, confidence, resilience, while reducing hospital admission, isolation, and depression. In terms of confidence, it works in the way that if you're talking to your peers and they understand, then that builds your confidence. And a lot of my clients have said that they found the peer support helpful in terms of helping them get experience, maybe have some practice about how they talk to people about their HIV. And you can share with other people, can say, well, this is how I've disclosed, and people have found that quite helpful. And if you feel like you're in that safe place, you can talk to somebody, you can explore, then that builds your confidence, and then you can take it outside of the group and maybe disclose to your relative, your partner, or somebody you care about. And that builds up your resilience because you feel like you have that empathy. So you've had a chance to kind of practice, talk about how you feel in a supported environment. Because most people who are HIV positive don't have that supportive environment, and most people are not quite sure how people would respond to them disclosing their status. So it's a really good safe space where you can go and feel supported, and you can say anything and nobody's going to be judgmental. And of course you have the facilitator there to support the group, or maybe kind of introduce new ideas about research, update you on information and medical advances. And also, I read a paper recently where they said that people who attend peer support and feel supported, they do have less hospital admissions, they're more likely to adhere, have good CD4 count and viral load, and it really helps with depression, and it alleviates depression. Most clients, when they come and say, who are in really deep depression, it's as part of that is that they have no one they can talk to. But it's quite scary when you come to me and I say, would you like to go to a group? And it's like, no. But this is some of the advantages you can have. And you can go to a group, you don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to say anything. You can just say, hi, I'm Camila and I'm here. And that's it, because everybody in the group would have had that experience of turning up for the first time. So I think it's really important to consider it. And with all the cuts and stuff like that, then defunding lots of other projects, but they seem to be keeping the funding for peer support because it's a tried and tested system and it works really well, and there are huge benefits and advantages to going. So if someone suggests going to peer support, I would say give it a go, just try it. You never know, and sometimes you have to try different groups, but it's still there's still some benefit in going in terms of meeting new people. And this is some of the feedback I've had from people who've attended different peer support. So this person says, for me, I just wanted to socially meet other men living with HIV, and Plus Pals has been for that for me. I love going every month, and this is a member of our Wandsworth MSM peer support based in Wandsworth. And another person said, I found the workshop very informative, even though I considered myself an informed guy, and also extremely helpful, embracing and open to everyone's stories, ideas, and opinions. And this is a peer support for a Latino project where the participants are all, the common denominators is they're all Latinos. And they found it really beneficial because they can come to the peer support, speak to somebody in their own language, and talk about the cultural barriers and living with HIV, and they found it really, really helpful. So it's that thing what we mentioned earlier about shared experience. So for those people coming to London, they hardly have a chance to meet anybody who they can talk about their HIV and in their own language. Because if you think about it, when you go to your clinic, everybody's speaking to you in English. So for those people, they found that quite helpful. Some aims and objectives of peer support, it can vary. Some peer support are quite laid back. You might just come, have a bit of a sandwich, a chit chat. Some can be a bit more structured, so they might have a theme for the day. So sometimes no one group, they might come to these seminars, or they might have someone coming to talk about mindfulness. It doesn't necessarily have to be specifically about HIV or about chemsex, or if it's an addiction, peer support. It can quite vary because I think peer support tries to facilitate a holistic view of whoever the people attending. So it doesn't necessarily, don't feel like if you're going to peer support for HIV, you're just going to be talking about HIV and CD4 count and viral load and how sad it is to be. So it can be quite varied. Because the whole aim, which is the holistic aim, is to empower people to lead happy, healthy, and fulfilled lives, to achieve their life goals, dreams, and ambitions, to develop coping strategy, for example, knowledge, HIV knowledge, adherence, disclosure, safe sex practices, addiction, to enhance emotional well-being, alleviate social isolation, and meet new people. And it's a really good way to meet new people where you can build. Some people have built really good friendships out of going to peer support. Some people found relationships, some people found love, best friends. So it can be quite a nice social way of networking as well, meeting people from your country, speaking your language. So. And there are different types of peer support. So you can be a peer mentor, which is provide one-to-one emotional support. So that might be somebody, say, who's newly diagnosed. They might want that initial one-to-one support first before they feel they can go and talk in a bigger group. Or you can have peer educators, like in the Latino group, we have peer educators who we train to deliver the course, the peer group, where they talk to them in their language about HIV, transmission, risk, and stuff like that. But the main thing is they all tend to have shared experience, status, background, maybe gender, sometimes sexuality. It can quite vary. Or there are peer tutoring models where the peer mentor supports someone with a learning outcome. So you might get a peer mentor or peer tutor who might support you to write your CV, give you interviews and skills, and maybe help you find a job. So it's kind of like an objective, a learning outcome. And these are all the types of peer group support available in the courtyard. We have newly diagnosed courses, MSM and bisexual support group, African support group, faith, parent support groups, young people, chemsex support group. We also have a service for to support young people who are transitioning. And if we haven't listed anything here, please tell Bernard, please tell the health advisors, you think there's a need for this peer support, and we will try our best to facilitate it. Because it's important that we are able to deliver things that you want and you feel you're going to benefit from it, rather than us saying, we think this is the kind of peer support you want. In conclusion, peer support is a good way to meet new people with similar experience and issues of concern. It is a good model to help people affected by HIV. It provides a confidential, non-judgmental space to discuss coping with diagnosis, aging with HIV, overcoming stigma, physical and emotional well-being, dating, chemsex, disclosing, discrimination. But it's just a nice way to meet people, forget about your problems, have a chat, just be you. And you can be organic in that space. And if you feel like talking about your HIV, you can. Or if you just want to talk about shopping, going on holiday, you can do that. But at the same time, if you felt like saying, oh my God, I feel really tired today, I think my medication is making me feel tired, that's the space you can talk to and share with that person, because you're not able to do that in your normal social setting. So it's a contained space for you to be who you are and include your HIV status as well, and be able to disclose and talk about that in a free, safe space. Thank you.